Good morning to my two lovely subscribers. I want to call you my two loyal subscribers, but you guys you don't comment. You certainly aren't sharing it anywhere because I'm only getting like one view of video. So so shout out to my two subscribers who are neglectful. My two neglectful subscribers. Oh, you can't see the butterfly. There she is. Um anyway, that's relevant. Actually, that's relevant. Me talking about likes and like comments or whatever, that's actually relevant to what this video is going to be about. This video is going to be about Bookstagram versus Goodreads. Which one is better? Which one is more enjoyable? I mean, it depends on what you want. Depends on what you desire. Now, I started a Bookstagram for this YouTube channel, basically, to promote this YouTube channel, but I started it like last week and I've already gained like 20 something subscribers. And that's been really surprising to me. How quickly I gained subscribers on there. Not only that, it's not even not subscribers, but followers. It's not even that. It's not about number of followers. To me, what I have noticed and really enjoyed about Bookstagram versus BookTube and versus Goodreads, because BookTube is not popping for me over here, really. Like y'all, like I said, y'all don't comment, you don't say anything hardly. I've only gotten one comment. Shout out to her. She's a lovely person. I assume she's one of the subscribers, but hi. Hi to you. But on Bookstagram, I've gained 25 subscribers, but followers, but it's when I post about a book, people comment. People message me first and are discussing the books with me. And that's what I like. I'm a part of one or two book clubs. Like, I'll get into that in a separate video. Different book clubs. All the different book clubs. Anyway, I do want to make a series on celebrity and influencer book clubs and book clubs you pay for and book of the month, all those things, but that's not what this is about. I like, some people read for the enjoyment of just diving into a story. Some people read to get their thoughts provoked. Some people just read to get certain information or read for school, etc. But like when I do read things for school because I'm in graduate school right now, future librarian. I'm studying library science, but shout out to the librarians in the audience. But what was I saying? I like to read for the interaction with people. Like, I like to read for discussing the story with people and like really diving into that. That's what I like about like stories and storytelling. That kind of, what did we think? What did we feel? And what are all of our reactions? So that's what I like about Goodreads, but not really. And I'll get into that. But Bookstagram has really, like, once I made a dedicate, I posted, okay, on my history with Instagram is I've had it for several years, and I have posted mostly like normal, like, okay, here's a selfie, I look cute, la la la, or here's me going somewhere. I have a lot of posts on New Year's Eve for some reason. I like scrolled through like to look at but I also posted books on there. And I noticed that like when I posted like books and like put like hashtag Bookstagram, I would get like a lot of like likes from random people. But like not a lot of like subscribe followers on Instagram from that. But like when I made my dedicated Bookstagram, excuse me, all of a sudden I was getting all these people adding me and commenting and talking to me about the books. And it's like so much more. And it's the irony to me is that it's so much more active on Bookstagram than Goodreads. Goodreads is dedicated just to books. And like I get fewer comments. And I have people I know on my Goodreads. Fewer comments. People like, I've noticed that a lot of my friends and stuff like things on Goodreads, but don't comment or say anything. Like I will write like a full review out and people won't really say anything. But I've gotten more comments, more like direct messages more followers in 1 week than I have, well, not more followers, but like more interaction in 1 week on Bookstagram than I have in, I think I've had Goodreads for like four plus years. And I'm like, wow. And I think part of it is we are so visually driven. And I just feel like taking pictures of the books adds something. And I also think you cast a much wider net on Bookstagram. So you put a hashtag Bookstagram and people see the book you're reading and they're like, yes, I wanted to read that. Yes, I wanted to read that. I wanted to read that too. And it's just like, what did you think? Was it good? Is it worth it? Should I get it? Like, people are commenting so much more on Bookstagram than on Goodreads. And I'm like, should I get rid of my Goodreads? I'm like, but now I feel like nostalgic over my Goodreads. Like, no, I love my Goodreads. Even on, I put on Instagram, follow me on Goodreads. I don't think I've gained any followers on Goodreads. Not any. But I've gained lots of followers on Bookstagram. I like my Bookstagram. I wish I could have two separate Instagrams, like two separate apps. There's already a separate app for Goodreads. But I wish I could just go on my Bookstagram and it wasn't directly connected to my main, because that gets a little annoying. That gets really irritating. That's a con. That's a downside to me. But I think another thing that I like on Bookstagram versus Goodreads is the hashtag. So when you share a hashtag, that's where you get so much interaction from. And there's just so, it's so much more. Bookstagram is so much more versatile. And I just feel like, I think it's interesting because I feel like Goodreads could be more versatile. Like, Goodreads has been out for years, literal years. And it's like they don't want to be popular. It's like they're that kid in school like, I'm smart. I don't need to be popular. I don't like the cool people. It's like you can tell by how they have a limit on how many people you can add as a friend. So they have a limit, like a limit. Like, you can't be. There's no most popular uh Goodreads person. There isn't. There's no book. There's no Goodreads influencers. I mean, they come from BookTube, really. Like, so I'm just. It's just so much quicker. It's so much more gratifying to just have the conversations and meet new people and talk to new people quicker on Bookstagram. And I'm like, a part of me is like almost like maybe I'll start doing videos, like a short video on Instagram instead of even doing BookTube. I'm like, should I even do BookTube? I'm like, I'm gonna give it until basically the end of the year. I'm gonna give it until 2021 and see what I want to do with this channel. But I'm just like, should I even do BookTube? Should I just do it? Like, am I gonna gain like 100,000 subscribers and like make YouTube my job? I don't know. I'm really doubting it. I'll leave, girl. If I could, I would, but I really don't think so. So I'm like thinking like, why do I use each platform? And I'm like, I'm enjoying this Bookstagram platform the most. Like, should I just not use the other two? And that's where I get into like, in defense of Goodreads. And this is one thing, I saw a girl who's really popular on Bookstagram. She has like 10,000 followers or whatever. She was saying, like, she's like, they were like, do you use Goodreads? And she's like, not really. I plug it in at the end. She says she plugs in everything she read at the end of the year. She plugs it in at the end of the year because she likes to see her like graphic or statistics of like what you read over the course of the year. I'm like, really? I think that's so weird. I know a lot of then I have this friend, okay. I have this friend named Brittany, and she is someone who works with the book club, the girly book club. And she's like, oh, I don't really do Goodreads. I don't really do social media. Social media is so horrible. She's like one of those people, she's young, but like she has like an old mentality, and she's like married to an old man. Um, I shouldn't have said that. But she won't see fine. Anyway, but I'm like, I don't care that I don't care that she's like that. She's like young. She's like what, like 33, and she's like married to someone who's like pushing 60. But that's not. I don't care about that. Like, I'm not judging that. But my point is like I'm just describing that. The point in mentioning that is like she has that mentality, like old school, like ooh, oh, social media is so bad. Ooh, like it's horrible. Like when that book, what was that book called? Was it literally called Followers? There is a book. I'm very anti books like that are about how evil social media is, or like how scary and social media is taking over people's minds. I'm very anti that. I think it's annoying. I just think the hand wringing and the worrying over social media is irritating. I just think it's irritating. I just don't agree. I think social media is totally fine. Social media is like anything else. It's like a tool. It's like it's a tool. A hammer could hammer a nail, or a hammer could hit someone in the back of the skull. I mean, it's like it is what it is. I just don't think that social media is just a tool. I don't think that there's anything inherently good or evil about it. I just think that people are like a little much. It's just a little much. Like, people don't write books about hammers. You know what I mean? Like, are hammers ruining society? Like, but then again, to be fair, people write books about like guns and like weapons of mass destruction and stuff like that. So I don't know. Whatever. But like, guns aren't really a tool. Guns are a weapon. Like okay, I'm getting so far off track. But she's like one of these people. So she uses it, and how she uses Goodreads. And she was like so dragging her feet to start using it. She's like, oh, I don't know. Social media is not really for me. And this video is getting long because I'm rambling. But I was like, it's like you have to. I like tell people all the time, you should get a Goodreads. You should get a Goodreads, and they're like, no, I don't think so. Like, I'm like, okay, whatever. And she uses it. She just puts books after she's done. Like, she puts multiple books after she's finished reading them. Like, I really like the aspect. I guess no one else does. I like the aspect of Goodreads that I can update my like page. Like, I'll get to like I'm reading this book, this short stories. It's called Black Enough. It's a bunch of short stories by Black authors. And every time I finish a story, I like the concept of updating and reviewing each story as I go along. And I think that's something really interesting. You can do it on Instagram, of course, but I just like on Goodreads that I can do my update. And like, you can see it and comment on the update. And like, people don't. People see it and keep scrolling. I'm like, I don't know what to say at this point. Like, I just feel like Goodreads is, I like Goodreads. And I just feel like I honestly want people to interact with me more on Goodreads. I love Goodreads. I'd love to see more comments, more interaction, more follows, all that kind of stuff. I just like to see more discussion popping off on my personal Goodreads. And people are like, you should join one of the groups. I find, and that's another issue with Goodreads, is that the user interface is really weird and it's really not intuitive to me. I just felt like being a part of the groups was like, I don't know, like, it was just too much for me. It was like complicated and weird. I don't know. So I just kind of gave up on that aspect. But that's everything I wanted to say. Was that everything I wanted to say? Both platforms, any platform has a problem with people wanting a promo. Like, people want a promo. People want to be promoted. You know what I mean? People want like, oh, and you can do polls on Instagram. You can do polls on Instagram. You can't do polls on Goodreads. Like, Goodreads could have come out with a lot of interesting, different little things that you can do on the app that make it more exciting to use. And they just don't. They like, I haven't seen. Goodreads recently did like an update where like the interface, like the icons and stuff look different. I don't know why they do those updates. What is the point of the updates? Just to change the look of the app. I don't know why people do that. YouTube recently did that too. I'm like, why? For what? Just they're just redecorating the house. I mean, you're not changing anything fundamental. You're not renovating. You're just redecorating the house. And now I have to give you more data on my phone. Like, I have to take up more data. Like it's okay, whatever. And I just felt like they haven't done anything. Like Goodreads, I think has been in existence. I think someone said since like 2010, maybe earlier. And then like Goodreads hasn't done anything to fundamentally, maybe earlier. I think earlier than 2010. That doesn't seem like 10 years ago. Oh my. But but they haven't done anything. Like, have they done anything to make it more intuitive? Like, the way you have to check messages is weird, and the way it's just weird. It's like, it's almost like it's not for interacting with people. It's almost like it's for just logging your books, and that's it. I don't know. But that's that's all my thoughts, I think, on this situation. Let me know what you think about Bookstagram versus Goodreads. I'm nostalgic. I don't want to get rid of my Goodreads. I'd like to use it more. I'd like to use every single platform that's about books, talking about books. That's my opinion. All the books,